The newest addition to the Processors channel, Meat and Poultry Perspectives, is the latest video series produced by Meat and Poultry Magazine. In each bi-weekly segment, we'll bring online subscribers video-based exclusive interviews with industry icons and subject matter experts. This segment is brought to you by Aerosite, the meat processing industry's leading supplier of remote video auditing software and services. Now listen as Dr. Grandin discusses some of the hottest trends and technologies in the animal welfare arena.
Well, I have been writing for Meat and Poultry back since 1980, been writing my column, and I still plan to do that. Write about a variety of different things, from just purely technical things to always trying to get the industry to do things. I think you could go back in your archives and you could find an article I wrote that said, "Clean house and then show it." I'm sure that's an article that's at least 10 years old. You know, and it took 10 years before we finally got a video done by the industry showing completely how a beef slaughter plant works. Yes, and I did use the slaughter word. They're not harvest plants. I know we're in the mercantile grain building. Harvesting is something you do for grain. I'm going, why do I still have to talk about a chain hanging down in a chute or putting a light on the entrance of a chute? Because I go into places and people aren't doing this. So they put the light on the entrance of the chute and then they let it break and they don't fix it. See, the thing about handling is constant supervision. You know, you get new employees in, non-slip flooring. It wears out. People don't realize it's wearing out. It's constant supervision. The other technology changes. There's certain things that change, and there's other things that don't change. I mean, new stunning equipment comes along. You know, some new handling technologies. I'd say in the handling part of it, most of the stuff is not new. But you're always going to have problems like the distractions, reflections, a coat's left on a fence. They see people walking by. They can see a chain conveyor moving in the distance. That stuff's not going to change. You've got to get that stuff out of your system or your animals are going to just balk and refuse to move. I think the industry handled the whole pink slime mess in a really bad way. First of all, the first thing that should have been done was a complete video tour of that factory. I finally got a chance to visit the factory where lean textured beef is made, and it was like Willy Wonka's stainless steel. It was absolutely spotless. Well, that should have been up on the internet within 24 hours. That was a gigantic mistake. The other thing that should have been emphasized is the food waste if you don't use the textured beef product. And people don't relate to, you know, this many thousands of cattle wasted. They don't relate to that. I got a better way of making it. People will relate to this. You take one of these big plants, and we're going to take one truckload of cattle every shift and just take them to the dump, shoot them, and throw them in the dump. That'd be a lot of waste. You see, people can visualize that better than umpty-ump vague thousands of them. We're going to just take a truckload of cattle every day and just throw them away. That's what you're going to do if you don't use pink slime. In fact, I even got to thinking that maybe we ought to have a pink slime product. Maybe they ought to trademark the term pink slime. How about this for an advertising slogan? Pink slime. It's so gross, it's awesome. Be the first kid on your block to have it in your lunchbox. Well, the UK is, you know, they don't use any hormones or any feed additives or anything like that, and so they keep bulls intact. I often wonder, why do we cut off the natural package that nature gives us to help the bull grow? We cut that off. Because the problem is you use a lot of the implants and a lot of the other feed additives, it makes the meat tough. You know, so does being a bull, too. Quality and quantity, the two opposing goals. I don't care if you do it with genetics or you do it with hormones and drugs. It's still two opposing goals. You go for these giant ribeyes, these giant loins, really lean, meat tends to be tougher, and a lot more dried out. Now, what I saw in England was they were breeding huge mama cows that were crossbred with Belgian Blues. So using Belgian Blue sires to create the offspring. They were selected for an easy calving Belgian Blue. And they could grow these big monstrous bulls really fast. Now, the one disadvantage is that it takes really good pasture to support really large mama cows. We just don't have that much really good pasture. England is like a green paradise. So you look at a lot of animal welfare issues, you know, and a lot of those have come from England originally. They don't have cold weather there, and they don't have really hot weather there. and they have almost year-round pasture. They can do some things we can't do, but there's also things that we can learn from what they were doing in England. They were raising intact bulls. No, they were not fighting all the time. People say, oh, you can't raise intact bulls, they're dangerous. Well, you keep them together in their pen mate groups. They grow up together in pen mate groups. I've been down in New Zealand. They feed dairy bulls and bring them into the slaughter plant, and they just raised in pen mate groups, and they were fine.